do. Sina nyumba, sina gari, sina ho. Kila kukikucha minayowaza kesho. Tapiga moyo konde nitafika ho. Wanaokudharau leo watakusalimia kesho. Wanaokusema sema watakusifia kesho. Unaokula nao na kucheka nao, kesho kidondoka utakuwa nao. Piga moyo konde wakati wa Mungu, wakati sahihi.
I have seen something.
How dare you go through my personal belongings?
Sano, why aren't you not picking and your mommy is calling?
What do you want? Forgot something.
Are we going to work together when you keep acting like a fool?
Mommy wange.
You have to leave me alone before I cause any damages.
Just being curious. Is she the one cleaning after your dirty mess?
Do you still want your job?
Yes.
Make this place a peaceful home. Sano, we need to have a serious talk about you.
I don't want Dan coming after me.
Kitu ataamua kufanya na wewe, that's up to him. Yeye ni husu.
Kazi ya kupika, kuosha vyombo, na unaona ile nyumba ile nataka ingalishwe. Lakini hii vita si between me na wewe.
Pale kwa gitu nimeona notice.
Ukae bumper to bumper na fadhako.
Niko busy sahi mom, but we'll talk baadaye.
Ati Jabu,
you had some company or Alex is in?
No, actually your dad was around.
Bona? Nini uniambi? First uniulize kuhusu dad na hii place. Ama bit dad anaweza kuwa.
You should say thanks to Alex for bringing back your phone from black markets.
Black market.
Would have given me a heads up, at least nikuwe ready. Sasa unaona venye inakaa.
I think you're trying too hard to impress Pete.
You are fit, big, you have beards, and you know.
We don't know this girl at all.
Accident ilikuwa usiku. Nikitoka hiyo job.
Nikapata nao a major accident can affect spinal cord. This is a new thing utapata kuna some few things mlikuwa mnafanya pamoja but now you can't.
Nasemanga ni msalaba yangu nilijiingiza. Sitajitoa. Nilisema tu ni baba ya watoto. You happy from the above of my heart is true. Yeah, yeah, I want to know what makes it right.
Naishi natumaini ewe malaika nakupenda. Hit me with one more and one more led to another. Now it's goodbye, Indian lady. Sweet when you're
Ni muda upi tangu upate ugonjwa?
Niko mama ambaye nimeishi naye kwa miaka 10. Na Maimuna mwanangu ambaye nimemzaa na nikamlea mimi mwenyewe, naona umekosea. Lakini kumbe nilikuwa kuna maanisha nini? Maimuna na babake wamezana. Leo ndio umeona tunajama. Sijui kufikiri.
Muda sio mrefu Tumaini. Tanioa.
Shilingi 60 za mwezi jana.
Ndio nilikuwa nataka kuuliza ya nini umeandika hapa juu.
Hizo yote matumbo yenu. Manake ukichukua kitu mimi naandika. Mimi nimekwambia hivyo ndio mwisho. Pesa zangu ama mali yangu. Hivyo tosha.
Kukopa mimi ukota kile kiwa kitu nyumbani.
Mwisho wa mwezi Pelisia mashambani.
Na watoto jenda wawata hapa.
Mimi nisiende kazini iwe kazi yangu kana watoto hapa. Ama ofisini pia nifungue kana sari kangu kadogo ndio nikienda nao.
Wewe mbona usichukue na jembe ukaenda ukalima au siku za Jumamosi na Jumapili mwanangu wewe uko wapi?
Tabia njema ufunzwa nyumbani. Wewe hii tabia nyingine imetoka wapi?
Good afternoon from wherever you're watching us. Welcome to the Lunchtime News. My name is Yambo. My sign language interpreter today will be Lucy Mwaura. And to just start us off, we want to start with celebrations of Eid al-Adha, where Kenyans have been urged to support and give back to the vulnerable people in society during and after Eid al-Adha celebrations. These were called by philanthropists at the Athi River, led by Starshake Academy Management, during a food distribution exercise to over 3,000 families to mark Eid al-Adha celebrations. The food included meat as per the tradition of Eid al-Adha. Let's get the details.
2 days into the Eid al-Adha celebrations, Muslim faithful living to the spirit of Eid al-Adha of living in harmony and giving back to society. In Athi River, the Muslim community joined the rest of the world in marking the day.
Tungetoa mwito kwamba wengine pia wajitokeze, tuweze kushirikiana, tusaidie wengi zaidi.
Mimi hapa pamoja na wenzangu pia, lao kama hawa kuchinja hawa leo hatungeliweza kusherehekea, lakini alhamdulillah wamechinja, tumepata nyama kwa wingi.
Here Starshake Academy fraternity embraced the festivities too by slaughtering livestock, including goat, sheep and camel, and distributed the meat to over 3,000 families.
I'm also grateful to the people who have supported us in this initiative from UK, USA, Canada and Kenya locally. And we look forward for more people to support us in coming years as this is part of our humanity.
The school's Board of Governors Chair Dr. Nabil Dangal said the initiative is part of the institution's school policy to support Muslims and non-Muslims from poor background.
Approximately 175 goats, around 27 cows and 2 camels. The approximate value of all this is coming to about 3 million shillings. And we are supposed to distribute food to at least 3,000 plus families in Athi River.
Wanapeana mbuzi na ngamia na ngombe, lakini sisi tunawasaidia na vilio kila mwaka tunaendelea kuongezeka. Kama mwaka ujao tulifanya karibu 200, sasa tuko karibu na 400. So kila mwaka tunaendelea kuongezeka, tuwasaidie wenzetu wale ambao hawajiwezi.
According to the Holy Book of Quran, The feast of slaughtering is in the honor of Prophet Ibrahim's willingness to sacrifice his son as an act of obedience to God.
And to matters politics, the Jubilee Party has faulted the government's decision to slash capitation funds, describing the move as disastrous and ill-advised. Speaking during a consultative meeting with grassroots leaders in Yambo County to bolster the party's support, Jubilee Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni warned that reduced education funding could force many students out of school. The party urged delegates to rally behind the party's presidential candidate, that is Dr. Fred Matiang'i, who reportedly stepped down from his World Bank role to focus fully on his presidential bid.
A person who can help my grandchild. Kwa sababu mimi sina kupatia mtoto yangu, lakini nikimpatia elimu iko sawa, atajimudu. Can you imagine? Ruto alikuta watoto wakilipiwa 22,000 shillings per child kwa shule. Correct. Ni kweli? Correct. Akatoa kule, akaleta 11, mwaka huu ni 2, kuanzia Januari ni. Basi ya Mungu atuweka hiyo ni na yeye nyumba.
Hapa niko na mheshimiwa kutoka Maburia.
And the Senate Committee on Agriculture is expressing concern over grabbing of land meant for agricultural research across the country. The committee has identified the Kenya Agricultural Livestock Research Organization, KALO, as most affected, stating that this was hurting production and research in the country. According to Bungoma Senator who chairs the Committee on Agriculture, David Wakoli, unscrupulous traders working with government officers were targeting KALO land, a move that had adversely affected its operations. Speaking after visiting KALO station in Naivasha, the committee pledged to work with the Ministry of Lands to ensure land set aside for agriculture research and production.
We will do a catalogue of all that land independently for the people of Kenya. Our work is oversight, legislation and representation, and we will ably do that through our committee, through the whole house, and expedite it to the executive of the Republic of Kenya.
Wako na karibu more than 3,000 acres, lakini katika KALO system vile tumesikia na wakubwa wamesema karibu eka 1,500 imeshukuliwa na mataberi.
The cost of inputs is also going high. When you talk of, for example, the drugs, the raw materials that we are getting for the feed sector. Those are some of the challenges, and we are trying to see how we can address this by using climate-smart technologies in our production systems.
Let's go to Marsabit, where I bring you celebrations of the Eid al-Adha, where at least 2,000 residents from Sako constituency, Marsabit County, have received livestock to slaughter and celebrate the Islamic festival of Eid al-Adha. The beneficiaries, drawn from 39 mosques in the area, were identified as some of the most vulnerable, having lost their animals to prolonged drought. The initiative, spearheaded by a charity organization, aims to bring relief and restore a sense of celebration to affected families. Locals lauded the initiative, with residents urged to coexist peacefully.
Ukame ilikuwa mingi, watu walipoteza mifugo wengi sana. Kwa hivyo tatizo ilikuwa nyingi sana. Na tunashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu leo watu hawa wetu tulifuatilia na wakaweza kutusaidia na mbuzi 300 ili watu wetu ambao wamekabiliwa na jalali ama ukame anaona watu mbuzi leo waweze kusaidika pia.
Ndio alituweza kutuletea. Tunashukuru sana kwa hayo. Hii mbuzi leo tunaona kwa siku kuu ya Eid haijawahi kuwa hapo mbele. Tujawahi kuona wakati ya Eid tuko na watu wengi hapo Marsabit.
And Kenya is set to host a regional summit that will spotlight how artificial intelligence can power inclusion for millions of persons with disabilities across the continent. Head of Communication, Green and Digital Innovation Hub, Louis Gebet, says people living with disability in the country will soon benefit from AI power assistive devices. This, he says, is as a result of commitments by innovators, investors and policymakers aimed at moving beyond dialogue and catalyzing action that transforms local innovation into actionable in the country's economic growth, that is. The summit comes at a time when the Persons with Disability Act 2025 has introduced a right-based framework that recognizes assistive technology as an essential service.
All the way to employment using assistive technology.
And the Persons with Disabilities Act of 2025 requires that assistive technologies be made available to those who need it.
There are more than 2 billion people globally in need of assistive technology, so it is not a niche area. So therefore we need good innovations and good startup companies in this field, just as we do in other areas.
And that's really looking at how we can get new innovators and new ventures to bring new ideas using AI, using different digital technologies, and using just different perspectives to actually see how we can bring solutions.
We take our first break on that note. I'll be back with more, including sports, after just a short while.
Je, umewahi kuwa na deni ya KRA? Basi usiwe na shaka. KRA wakishirikiana na KBC wamekuandalia roadshow murwa kabisa. Jiunge nasi tukufahamishe kuhusu KRA Tax Amnesty Program na jinsi utakavyoweza kusamehewa adhabu na riba na KRA. Pia tutakuwa tunakusaidia kujaza fomu za kodi za mwaka 2024 na kukusaidia na huduma za KRA kwa mtaa wako. Jumamosi tarehe 7 mwezi Juni tutakuwa Mombasa City. Tutazuru Sauti House, Moi Avenue, Cannon Tower, CMC, Ganjoni, Likoni, Nakumatt, Ferry, Kenyatta Avenue, Sabasaba, Changamwe, Tudor, Kongowea, Kisauni na hatimaye Bamburi. KRA, tulipe ushuru, tujitegemee.
Say you're sorry to Grandpa.
No, it's okay, sweetheart.
I love you, Grandpa.
I love you too.
Stop that!
Stop what?
What's going on here?
Nothing's going on
You're
here.
supposed to be neutral. I don't even know what that means.
No. You have a winning personality. I guess I got yours by mistake. Kind of met someone.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What's this one's name?
Wiki hii kwenye Mkulima,
tutamfuga inzi chuma kisha tumlishe kwa kuku.
tutaelekea huko JKUAT katika kitengo cha wadudu, tujifunze mengi kuhusu nyenje.
Hakuna kustuka tena ati hii ni nini? So sasa tunaangalia at industrialization. This is now going industrial scale.
Ungana nasi Jumamosi saa 10:30 kwenye mseto kamili wa kilimo
hapa KBC Channel 1.
The men and women in boats, their core mandate to defend and protect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Republic of Kenya. Their bravery knows no limits.
Make a man go through the wall without breaking the wall. Laziness, it is not in our vocabulary.
But what are their stories, their tales? Military Tales, every Saturday at 9 p.m. with Ben Troy Njoe.
Thank you for staying with us. And we want to cross to Kwale right about now, where my colleague Abdiaziz Hashim is there. And he's actually there to, bring us up to speed with what is happening in as far as the Mwache Dam is concerned. It's a 20 billion shillings project which the government actually is spearheading to ensure that Kwale, Mombasa and the coast region is water secure. If you can hear me, Abdi, please bring us up to speed with what is happening in Kwale.
Well, Marie, you're correctly right there. Mwache Dam is one of the flagship projects, the 2030 flagship projects that the government is currently working on, of course, with the World Bank. The over 20 billion project has not only impacted the residents who are living here, but changed the livelihoods of this particular area. But like any other project that the government is running or it is donor-led, it has had an adverse effect on the residents who are living closer to that particular project. And Mwache Dam has suffered the same fate, but over 4,000 households were affected by this particular massive project. But the key question is, how has the government addressed and restored their livelihoods to that particular aspect they required? That is the main question here. And we are with the leaders who are focusing on this livelihood restoration program for the residents who are living in this particular area. We'll also be conversing with the beneficiaries. Joining us, this is Daktari. Daktari, start off by introducing yourself. What role do you have here? And in terms of the massiveness of this particular project, how has it impacted this community?
Well, I'm Dr. Daudi Paul Kitonga, the Managing Director of Frontman Consultants that has been contracted by the World Bank and the Government of Kenya to undertake this sensitive resettlement of over 4,000 households of Mwache, which is a Duruma community, which is classified as vulnerable and marginalized. We are supposed to undertake their resettlement, coordinating with National Land Commission to compensate them over 4 billion Kenya shillings. We've already done 2 billion shillings, and the government has provided an extra 2.1 billion, which we are starting to pay this month. I'm here with my group of experts and representatives of the community beneficiaries, including the Kaya officials who are also affected as a community. And shortly, I want to call Francis Venzi, who is the lead expert in livelihood restoration, to explain how we are restoring livelihoods after compensating them the money that was paid by the National Land Commission. And now the World Bank has provided some grants to also improve their livelihoods and improve their incomes to make it a better resettlement.
There you have it, Marie. Let's speak to one of the experts. Given that you've just heard 4 billion was given out, already 2 billion has been allocated to the residents, remaining with 2 billion. So Francis, tell us, what does this livelihood restoration program entail?
Livelihood restoration program is a post-compensation program aimed at restoring the lives of the over 4,000 households which were affected in their livelihoods. For example, we have the crops, the livelihoods which were affected, the crops, businesses, and social and economic infrastructure.
And does it entail farming?
Yeah, crops and livestock is part of the farming livelihood restoration.
Marie, let's get also to speak to the Kaya elders here, led by Mzee Shaban. Mzee Shaban, if you could join us here. He is among the people who are affected by this particular project, but you can see the government has allocated appropriate funds to restore their livelihood. Mzee, asante kwa kuungana nasi hapa katika runinga ya KBC Channel 1. Tueleze wakati mradi huu ulifika hapa eneo hili, ili kuathiriaje na kwa sasa umenufaikaje?
Bismillah. Kwa majina kamili naitwa Shaban Ndegwa. Kwa kusema kweli mimi ni chama wa Kaya, na huu mradi ulipoletwa na World Bank na serikali kuu, na huku kwetu kuna gatuzi, serikali ya ugatuzi. Sisi tulikataa mwanzo, alafu baadaye tukakubali kwa sababu tulikuwa hatujafahamu. Tulipofahamu na walofanya mpaka sisi tufahamu ni consultant ambao ni frontman. Wakatueleza kinaga ubaga, tukaelewa. Kwa hivyo mradi tangu mwanzo mimi nililipwa awamu ya kwanza. Nililipwa vizuri na wenzangu vizuri, awamu ya pili watu wakalipwa. Na kuna pesa ile compensation tulilipwa, alafu kuna pesa ya disturbance tulilipwa. Saa hii kilichobaki, kuna watu hawajalipwa awamu ya tatu, na kuna pesa ya maisha mbadala ambao maisha mbadala ni livelihood, si pesa, ni vitu ambavyo vitatolewa ili uweze kujiendeleza. Sasa hata hapa nilipo kuna mistari imechimbwa hapa, na hiyo yote ni mambo na livelihood. Kwa hivyo mradi umetuwezesha, tumeshukuru serikali na World Bank pamoja na wale compensation wale ma consultant waliokuja, wamekuja kutufanyia kazi nzuri. Kwa hivyo kaya ilikuwa kuna mahali ilikuwa affected, lakini tukang'ang'ana na tukarekebisha. Tumerekebisha mpaka saa hii mwisho tuko na cultural center, na hiyo tunataka kutengenezwa cultural center kwa sababu kuna mizimu yetu pale mahali kwa ile damu, pale main dam. Kuna viungu vilibomolewa na sisi tuka demand ya kwamba tulipwe, tukalipwa viungu, tukaweza kuviweka kaya. Sasa kuna zingine tunataka tumalizie tuziweke kaya, kwa sababu tunaenda na hii mila na desturi, na wote walikubali, sio eti walituruka. Kama walituruka tungekuwa hatuna lolote. Kwa hivyo tumeshukuru mradi, tujiendeleza na umetuwezesha.
Kwa sababu umetueleza kuwa uliweza kupokea hizo fedha, tueleze labda kwa wale Wakenya wanakuangalia sasa, umeweza kutumia hizo fedha kivipi? Umeingia ukulima, umeanza kujenga, umeifanyia nini?
Kwa kusema kweli, nilizopokea mimi pesa zangu sisema sahihi, lakini nilitumia vizuri. Nazijua mimi mwenyewe. Nilitumia vizuri, nikanunua shamba, nilipoteza shamba, nikanunua shamba, nikajenga nyumba ambayo nilikuwa sina tangu na mwanzo, tangu nzaliwe. Kwa hivyo kila mmoja wetu alijijengea nyumba yake ile kivyake, na matumizi yake alomaliza shamaliza. Yule ambaye bado amebakisha banki kwake, ana account yake, ni well and good. Mwenyezi Mungu amsaidie.
Asante sana. That is Mzee Shaban, the Kaya elder here, speaking to, of course, there are some of the beneficiaries of following this Mwache Dam project since it came here in Kwale County. This dam will not only serve the residents of Kwale, but the county of Mombasa as well, serving them with over 100,000 cubic meters of clean water that they can use domestically as well as in agriculture. But for now, back to you, Marie.
Thank you so much, Abdiaziz, for that report and just bringing us up to speed with what is happening in as far as the Mwache Dam is concerned. Abdiaziz definitely will be bringing us up to speed, or at least giving us a report later on in a subsequent bulletin, just talking to some of the residents there, talking about the compensation that they've received and how they've used it, and also the experts who are managing the Mwache Dam project, also just giving us some of the monies that have been paid to the residents. A total of 4 billion is what is expected to be paid, but 2 billion is what has been paid for compensation. All that will be coming your way with Abdiaziz Hashim later on in our subsequent bulletins. But right about now, let's go on with the news, where I beg your pardon, stakeholders in the education sector have been challenged to play a critical role in ensuring they help learners in their career pathways. This clarion call was made during the annual career day at Greenville School, where students were guided in making informed decisions on their academic aspirations.
That you never went there only to stare, you learn.
With the ever-changing terrain in the field of education, there is need for a more aggressive approach in nurturing learners to enable them choose a career that suits them.
This is the day that we set aside for our learners and parents, just to make them get to know what exactly it entails in when growing their careers.
This message resonated during the annual career day at Greenville Group of Schools in Kamulu, Machakos County.
We took them to various places just to let them get exposed to what exactly it entails in their career. Knowing that we are joining junior school next year, we also want them to be actual in choice of senior school, depending on the pathway that they are interested in.
Here, learners had the unique opportunity to engage with different professionals, ranging from doctors, engineers, journalists, security officers, lawyers, pilots, and many others.
Also told them on what is expected in senior school, the placement and the career pathways, how they're supposed to choose that, and it was amazing. Under the same, we have also conducted some aptitude tests for the learners so that they know whether what they have chosen to be their careers is in tandem with what the aptitude tests.
The learners who participated in the hands-on demonstration held the opportunity to interact with such professionals, saying it will go a long way in preparing them for the future.
I love the way Greenville Junior School helped us to nurture and help us identify our careers.
It was a day where we had some specialists who came by to help us to demystify and elucidate careers, what it takes to be in that career, the merits and the conditions. And it was such a great opportunity for us learners.
The day was also important for parents, especially with the uncertainties witnessed in the competence-based education.
The school has organized something so important for us as parents. The ability to be able to nurture the kids, walk the journey with them, the career exposure, the professionals coming in.
Timothy Kipnusu for Lunchtime News.
Thank you, Timothy Kipnusu. Now, Kiambu Deputy Governor Rosemary Kirika has urged the county youth to turn their creativity and education into tools for self-reliance and economic empowerment, noting that this will help them overcome unemployment. Speaking during the first anniversary celebrations of the Rose Kirika Foundation, the Deputy Governor expressed concern over the rising levels of unemployment, which she said had pushed many young people into depression, hopelessness, and substance abuse.
Most of our people are trained, they have gone to school, others have certificates, others even have degree certificates at home. They need now to engage their minds and create jobs. They need to think how they can solve problems that are found in the society. We are encouraging people that there is something called self-employment. Do not wait to be employed by anyone.
Always keep your dreams big and work on them. Not only dreams, but you make a strategies, hard work, efforts to put everything in that.
The government to put more effort in empowering youth in agriculture and supporting the already starting youth, for example, in the Azola project, holding us and becoming our partners so that we can offer more jobs to you.
I look at sports now, where a new women's singles champions will be crowned at the French Open when, for the first time in 7 years, the best two women players in the world will meet in a Grand Slam final. Aryna Sabalenka will take on Coco Gauff, with world number 1 Sabalenka seeking a fourth major singles title and second-ranked Gauff a second title.
Coco Gauff will face Aryna Sabalenka in today's French Open final. Gauff, the US Open champion in 2023, finished runners-up in Paris 3 years ago, while two-time Australian Open winner and last year's New York champion Sabalenka is in a first Roland Garros final. Pair have 5 wins apiece from 10 previous meetings before going head-to-head on court Philippe Chatrier, where the winner will take home €2.5 million. Defending champion Alcaraz moved into his second successive Roland Garros final after 8th seed Lorenzo Musetti retired injured in the 4th set of their semi-final.
Mesdames, Messieurs, en raison d'une blessure, vous étiez contraint à l'abandon.
The men's final will be played tomorrow.
2-0 abandon.
And that story by Barclay Feather brings us to the end of the bulletin this afternoon. My name is Marie Yambo. On the sign language was Lucy Maura. Remember, we still have more news for you at 7 and 9 p.m. Good afternoon.
Imagine a future where you can enjoy the fruits of your hard work without financial worries. A time when you can truly relax, travel, and pursue your passions. To achieve that dream, you need to plan today. With the cost of living constantly rising and inflation showing no signs of slowing down, the money you need today will be nearly 10 times higher by the time you retire. Without a solid retirement plan, you risk financial insecurity when your active income stops. That's why saving for retirement is necessary. Regardless of your age, it's never too early or too late to start planning. Engage with experts from any RBA registered individual pension plan for guidance in tailoring a retirement strategy based on your current lifestyle, future goals, and desired retirement age. This provides the fixed regular income you'll need after retirement to ensure you